Hey everyone, Anding here for another episode of the Battle of the Black Gate. When we last left off, we had gone through this crazy orc camp that was doing all sorts of weird, creepy stuff, and now we are going to be returning to this ranger to let them know what is all going on so they can tell us to go somewhere else. So let's talk to them. You have returned to us so late, Anding, and I'm afraid you have much to answer for in the eyes of Captain Anborn. Artemir's errand may have endangered our entire cause. And for what? The chance to speak to a spirit? His foolishness may cost us more than time. You see, we returned to Horondir after you departed, and spoke to Anborn of your efforts to rescue Artemir from his delusions. He thought long on the matter and then chose his course. You must understand, my friend. Anborn sent an entire company to find you and Artemir on the battle plain. You have returned, but we have heard naught from them. You express regret at the efforts put forth to ensure your return, but urge Leglaw to understand that you have come with grave tidings about the foes lurking in Daggerland, and the coming battle with the Dark Lord at the Black Gate. I see. But Anborn has requested your presence at once upon your return, so I leave those matters to him. You have kept Anborn waiting long enough. If these tidings are as grave as you say, he shall want to hear them from you as well. Alright, let's go talk to the ranger boss and see what he wants. Hending, I'm glad to see you have returned to us. Yet I must disagree with the course Artemir and you have taken. Such reckless actions could have led the enemy to Horondir, or endangered the entire host. But they have not, and for that I am grateful. Do not mistake my concern for anger, my friend, but I would urge you to dissuade Artemir from any other adventures he might think to embark upon, given the length of your absence. Have you returned with any news of our foes? You inform Anborn of the designs of the Black Numenorian, Burodath, the Bloodletter, and warn him against possible encounters with more hostile fell spirits upon the battle plain. These are grim tidings, and they are made all the worse by the looming battle. I shall do what I can to prepare us should these evils come to Horondir. As for you, my friend, I have a new task, one with which Artemir shall not be involved.
Let us hope you bring glad tidings, friend.
As Leglaw told you, I sent 10 of my rangers to seek you and the Loremaster on the battle plain. They have not returned, and I would have you lead the search for them. They took the road eastward towards the Slag Hills, and were to move northward into the battle plain, to search for you and Artemir between the hills. I would suggest you begin your search upon the battle plain itself. Let us hope the enemy's forces have heeded their master's orders, and have not brought an ambush upon my men. When you find them, send them back to Horondir by safest paths. They will know the way. Lost in passing. Alright. Let's go find these rangers. Dang. I'm not all that surprised, but man. This ranger lies slain, but is marked with no wounds. Well, that's curious. This ranger is slain, but is marked by no wounds, and you get attacked by a Wayne Rider. Dang, did they get taken out by the Wayne Riders? I bet that's what happened. That's pretty ridiculous. And again, another Wayne Rider attacks us. I definitely see a connection here. Okay, so it looks like we have to search for the remaining soldiers at the Wayne Rider City of Craziness. So let's go do just that. You've discovered the spirit of Faramir floating near the foot of Dol Akarn. Do you believe my words now? Have you seen your allies fall now to unseen blades? Tread carefully, champion. The Wainriders have claimed the site of their greatest defeat, and now defile it with their very presence. You and any other living that seek to pass through these lands have much to fear from their return. The Wainriders must be made to pay for defiling these lands once more, Andang. But your allies are in grave danger, and their lives cannot wait on my designs for vengeance. The 6 men you found were caught unawares by the Wainriders, but 4 more yet lived, last I saw them. They fled the battle plain northward into the marshes, but they shall find no refuge there. As the Northmen and I learned all too well, the waters are muddy, and slow any retreat to a crawl. And now even worse things dwell within its shallows. There are lights, the dead without form that lurk within the marshes, and they hold the power to sway any to their will. These rangers may have escaped the Wainriders, but they will not escape the dead in the marshes, not when fear has such a hold on them. Go now, save your allies, and do what I cannot. Alright, drawn to the marshes. Let's go find and save our ranger friends here. You have found a ranger staring blankly into the waters of the dead marshes. The ranger wakes from the trance. Don't say anything. Bye. Bye, buddy. Alright. And there we go. Saved them all from the crazy trances, and now they're free to go wherever the heck they want. Looks like we need to return once more to Faramir. You did well to ensure the safety of your allies and kin, Andang. It is something I wish I could have done. They would be wise to avoid the marshlands should they pass through the wastes again, for the lights can take hold on any man. Let us hope they return to their encampment with news of what they have found here. Your friends can rest easy for the moment, champion, but rest shall not come to me. Even in this form beyond death, I have done naught to stop the countless horrors I have witnessed, and I can bear it no longer. This fallen man of Númenor, Buru Dargath, perverts the banner of my father and kills without mercy, and the Wainriders that rose in answer to the strife in these lands have slain the men of your company with fear alone. These 2 foes stand in defiance of Gondor on the hills of Daggerland, and there remains no force to stop them. Yet I believe that I have found a means to set our foes upon each other. However, such a ruse demands swaying the attention of the Wainriders, and that shall be no simple task. Alright, looks like we need to approach the hill. Great. So, he has an idea. We don't know what the heck it is. We're just going to randomly walk to the hill, because that seems like a great idea. So here we go. An unseen force saps your will to press forth, and your morale begins to waver. We almost died there. Okay. Alright, Faramir. It is as I feared. It seems only the Wainriders themselves can stand upon the hill without succumbing to fear. I had hoped you would not encounter such resistance from the Wainriders before even confronting them, but it seems our cause grows more desperate. I may know a way to allow you to travel on to Dol Khan without hindrance, but it shall not be an easy task. I have looked upon the faces of the Wainriders at Dol Khan, and though many of them are lost to my memory, one has never been forgotten. It is the face of their chieftain, the face of the man who slew me. Even now I remember facing down the Wainrider chieftain with the Northmen. All at once, it felt as if each of us stood alone in the battle against him and his kin. After his horse and chariot became stranded in the marshes, he ran me down himself, and I could not flee in the shallows. The mud and murk held my feet, and soon he was upon me. I fell, and the blood of my king's line spilled into the marshes. My folly had grown a terrible defeat into no less than a disaster for my people. His spear tasted the blood of Numenor, and he knew the victory he had won over Gondor could not be contested by any man. Such a triumph grew a great arrogance within him, and as your friend Artemir told us, his death soon followed. You must gain an audience with the Wainrider chieftain if our ruse is to succeed. But it seems you shall find no such kindness without bearing a trinket of their peoples. I would have you seek the very spear that slew me in the marshes to the north. It is unlikely they will yield even once you bear it, but it is the only means we will have to speak to their master. Dang, well, let's go figure this whole next thing out. Here's a rusted spearhead. I think we found it. You have recovered a rusting, rotted spearhead of early Easterling make. This is probably the thing you were looking for. You have quieted many of the more aggressive marshlights in the southern reaches of the Dead Marshes. If only for a moment you have helped to free the Rangers of Ithilien from their unsettling influences. That being said, we really don't know how you weren't affected by these glimmers of light. Yes, Andang. That is the one. It is rotted and rusted with the passage of time, but it can be no other. I can feel the spear piercing my chest anew even now. This pain, it cannot stop me now. It is time our ruse is tested. Let us see if the chieftain's weapon of old might be wielded against him, Andang. Through all the years I wandered the wastes, I felt as if a great fog surrounded me, blinding my sight and clouding my mind. Whether it was born of confusion, fear, or pains of this curse, I cannot say. I had centuries to overcome this illusion, and never did I succeed, until I was convinced of my folly by you and Artemir. Andang, do you understand? As I once did, the Wainriders must now suffer the same sickness of the mind. They are men outside their time in this age, and the truths of their past are all they shall see fit to believe. As the men of Gondor were in the time of the Wainriders, Buru-Gardath, the Bloodletter, is a man of Numenor. Although the Numenorians were once one people, their fates were divided through the influence of the Dark Lord. The faithful defied Sauron and believed none of his lies, but many others fell to evil and became known as Black Numenorians. And Buru-Gardath is but one of them in the service of the Dark Lord. Even with how far he has fallen, he cannot deny his heritage, and the blood he shares with my people of old. I understand you may have heard of these tales, my friend, but this shared lineage might be turned to our advantage. To a man of Gondor, the history of Numenor is great and terrible. Yet to a foe of our peoples, such a tale and truths are but a trifle. A hatred so blind does not measure the goodness or evil in men. The Wainriders at Dolacan need only understand that a man of Numenor flies the banner of a king of Gondor, and of their hated foe, Ondahir. My friend, go to Dolacan and call forth their chieftain. He might be convinced of Buru-Gardath's heritage and the banner he bears. If you succeed, his deeds, good or ill, shall be but a whisper in their ears as their hatred calls them to battle. Okay, let's attempt going up here again, because it worked so well the last time. Alright. In the wake of turmoil within Mordor and the march of the host of the West, the Wainriders that fell upon the battle plain have risen to stand against the men of Gondor once again. They have not yet moved against the host of the West, and to ensure that this remains so, you should confront them at Dol Amroth and draw their attention away from the host. Alright, well, we have 6 soldiers, 6 bowmen, 4 charioteers, and 4 horsemen to take out. So let's go up to the creepy crazy place and do just that. While exploring the ruins of Dol Amroth, you have encountered relics of significant age. It remains unclear if they are of old Gondorian make, or were given as a gift by the Northmen who came to Gondor's aid in times of strife. You decide to collect the relics in hope that Artemir can identify them. Alright, so we have 8 relics to collect, so let's get started on that. Here we have a charioteer, and I wish the chariots were more chariot-y and like attached, but it's still pretty cool. Better than just a wagon being on the end. There's a wheel up here, apparently. A chill washes over you as the Wainrider chieftain appears. What did he say?
You are bold to challenge me, man, especially bearing my own spear. Let us see if your bravery matches your own skill.
Okay, buddy. Can't even really see you. There you are. Hard to see you, buddy. The Wainrider chieftain fades into shadow, but immediately reappears atop Dol Amroth. Okay.
You have my attention, man. You stand before Zan Ashu of the Wainriders. Speak quickly, or I will remove you from my sight.
You warned Zan Ashu that Dagath of Numenor has come to the wastes and stands upon the western hill of the battle plain, in defiance of the Wainriders under the banner of a king of Gondor.
Gondorian dogs! No matter how many we slay, they will rise against us anew. They think themselves our betters, but we do not shrink from battle so easily.
Zan Ashu begins to shout to nearby Wainriders.
Ready the wains and chariots, men. Gondor shall breathe its last breath this day, and the men of Numenor shall finally be vanquished.
For merely a moment, a wave of confusion washes over Zan Ashu's face.
Yet, why would one such as you offer us knowledge of our greatest foe? I do not understand.
Zan Ashu seems to steady his resolve.
But I shall not dismiss it. Go, man. Warn this Dagath, if you must. but do not attempt to stand between us and our prey.
Okay, buddy. We'll go do that. Oh, and they fight us on the way out. That's just great. Alright, we collected all the relics. Now we just need to defeat 2 more horsemen outside, and then we'll be good to go. The Wainriders of Dolakarn were not easily bested, but through your efforts, the host of the West shall remain unknown to them. Well, that's just great. Let's make it back to the other crazy ghost person and see what he knows.
Our ruse may yet succeed, Andang, but the Wainriders do not sound like any ally of ours, even after we offered them the location of the hated foe. It seems time cannot change some men. They are ever stubborn folk, they once were. Now, my friend, we must move against the Bloodletter, while the Wainriders prepare, else all shall be lost. The time is upon us, Andang. Buru Dagath must be brought low before your allies think to approach the Black Land. But such a feat shall not be simple. Even with aid of the Wainriders, fear is powerful, but he is a man unlikely to succumb to it, unless he senses that fate or the will of his master has turned against him. Knowing this, we must be wary. The Bloodletter is of considerable strength, my friend, for I have seen him lift his prisoners with a single hand. The blood of his ancestors runs true within him, and it shall be either our bane or his greatest undoing. There remains one final problem in assuring the success of our ruse, but that is one I shall explain once we arrive at the hill. Tell me when you are prepared, my friend. Fate awaits us.
But that is not till next time. Thank you everyone so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to give it a like down below, and I will see you again real soon for another episode of the Battle of the Black Gate.